Feminist activist, Taylor Swift, is the global music superstar, breaking all records, musically, commercially, socially, and any which way you wish to ally it. Her influence is so strong that her current Eras tour is projected to boost the American economy by over $4.6 billion, and both U.S. political parties are fiercely craving her endorsement. John Malone sought to take advantage of her pulling power by getting her to host a concert in Texas during the Grand Prix weekend in 2016, as Liberty Media attempted to sell Formula One to Americans. However, 7 years down the line, self-proclaimed straight talker and anti-woke champion, Christian Horner, decided to take a swipe at Taylor Swift in order to generate toxic headlines at her expense. Against a backdrop of declining F1 viewing figures worldwide and, particularly in the US, Max Verstappen being booed by racing fans at venues around the world, and most shockingly by Red Bull fans in Miami, unsold tickets and hospitality at US races and elsewhere, Nasty Spice saw fit to make the outrageously false claim that F1 was doing so well in the US. Race organizers no longer needed to rely on superstars like Taylor Swift to attract audiences. Indeed, according to the braggadocious Horner, because of the success of Netflix's Drive to Survive series, F1 was now so popular that even Taylor Swift would struggle to get into an event. Predictably, this unsupportable claim generated the global headlines that Christian and his Red Bull cronies routinely caught by chatting shit about everything related to Formula One, from Lewis Hamilton to Mercedes-Benz, Toto Wolff to the FIA, and political correctness to plain speaking. From the likes of Max Verstappen to his woman-beating father, the insufferable Helmut Marko and Nasty Spice, the Red Bull frontmen were encouraged to inject their toxicity into Formula One by a ruthless John Malone of Liberty Media, intent on monetizing the drama and headlines that such odious behavior generated. It is therefore serendipitous that Schadenfreude would eventually catch up to these teen gods, and Christian Horner would be the first one to meet with Swift karma. Before delving into how Swift karma came back around to gore Christian up his backside, we invite those of you who haven't yet done so to like, comment, subscribe and share this video. As previously stated, encouraged by the late Dietrich and the ruthless John, Christian regularly chatted shit to generate headlines for the benefit of his masters. The trick was to make as outrageous a claim as possible, in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary, and then bask in the euphoria of the bad boy image that the shocking headlines would generate. Perhaps Nasty Spice had been prompted to snipe at Taylor Swift because his wife Ginger was jealous of her success, or he, as the champion of the anti-woke brigade, wanted to have a go at the feminist icon, or because, some 3 months earlier, she had released another hit song titled Karma, which in typical Taylor fashion, blasted Nasty and his cronies. Whatever the reason, there is no doubt that Christian and his Red Bull cronies would have taken umbrage at karma, and felt that Taylor Swift was blasting them, because the first line of the opening verse summed them up so succinctly, as F1's perennial shit chatters. The second line appears to be a direct jibe at Christian, and must have struck a resentful chord with him because, having been introduced to Ginger by Bernie Ecclestone, he went on to betray his then pregnant partner to get with her, to the extent that his own parents refused to attend their wedding. Of course, the names of Red Bull drivers that Christian routinely betrayed in favor of the Dietrich-anointed driver is too long to list here, and we invite viewers to provide their own lists in the comments section. Christian, once again in service to his masters, took his passion for betrayal to the highest level, when he betrayed all sporting integrity, and openly suborned Michael Masi in front of millions of witnesses, during the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, in 2021.
Christian and Michael.
Yes, go ahead, Christian.
Yeah, why aren't we getting these lap cars out of the way?
Just give me, well, because Christian, just give me a second. Okay, my big one is to get this incident clear.
You only need one racing lap.
As Taylor Swift had foretold, Horner is now on the verge of being booted unceremoniously off the Red Bullshit throne that he managed to ascend so ingloriously by chatting shit and betraying any principle or person that he could find along the way. As Swift predicted, Christian is now terrified of looking down because he fears seeing the glare from everyone that he burned to ascend the throne. Well, even Dolph Lundgren, our best friend forever, will agree that the opening verse of Miss Taylor Swift's Karma is all about Christian Horner. But for us, what would be the icing on the cake would be finding out that Christian's young female accuser is a Swiftie. The karma go-round that came for Mr. Horner has room for Mrs. Horner too. Ginger Spice, the man-made feminist icon, who betrayed girl code by embarking on an affair with another woman's partner, is now facing the prospect that at the very least, her husband was making sexual overtures to a younger woman, who, inspired by a self-made feminist icon, was strong enough to reject his crude advances. Mrs. Horner must now question whether her husband's denials to her are as sincere as his denials to his former partner. After all, she knows better than most what a good liar he is. Perhaps she did too much when she unfollowed Max in support of her husband's assertion that he was being set up by the Verstappens. Perhaps she did too much when she unfollowed the Beckhams for failing to support her publicly. But by desperately hitting out against friend and foe, Mrs. Horner is signaling that the karma that every mistress fears will come home to roost after becoming a wife is knocking on the door. As speed awareness course instructors have been known to state, it is most likely that attendees are not first-time offenders, but rather drivers who have been accustomed to breaking speed limits in order to outdo the sat-nav predicted journey times. Well, by the same token, it is most likely that Mr. Horner's brazen and prolonged attempt to coerce a young female employee into a sexual relationship was not his first. Therefore, echoing the lyrics of Miss Swift, karma is the thunder rattling the ground beneath the Horners, and boy, is it sweet like justice.